Credit repair is a game, and here's how you can win. But what if I told you it's designed for you to fail? Listen to this.
There is no way for people like Judy Thomas to get their problem solved. So all these people who take the time to meticulously document a case that the bill isn't theirs or the bill has been paid, that is never seen by anybody. It's not seen by anyone who considers it in determining whether or not information will be removed from a credit report. It's not forwarded on to the person who has the complaint with you. No, it is never forwarded on. Never forwarded on to the creditor.
We can get a jury verdict for $1 million. That's chump change to some of these bureaus. They would rather pay a verdict in $1 million than to actually go in and change the policies and procedures that they have, because that's much more expensive to them.
I can say this without qualification. The dispute procedures used by the credit reporting agencies, uniformly used, completely fail to comply with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Courts have found that. The Federal Trade Commission has found that. It's not even a close call.
Crazy, huh? Listen to what my lawyer has to say.
But yeah, the system is set up to just agree with the original reporter. And let's talk about why. Do you know how Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, they make their money? The billions of dollars, because Capital One is paying them $10, $20, $30 million a year. Every time Capital One sends them information about you, they have to pay them a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. So who are they going to agree with? If you reach out to them and say, I'm right, Capital One's wrong, but Capital One is paying them $10 million a year, are they going to agree with you? Or are they going to agree with their partner? So the system's set up to fail.
So you're probably thinking, how can you win? You can either do two things. Do nothing, or listen to what I'm about to share with you on how you can permanently remove that debt off your credit report. Before Mike asks another question. So I always talk about like the consumer reports, the credit bureaus, which is Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, has like incomplete, like it's inconsistent, like the open date last active, all that stuff is not reported correctly. And I tell people to send a letter and tell them to update the information. I don't know or not, but most times they don't update it. Is that technically a violation? And can people technically serve the credit bureaus for not?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, back when I was talking to Robin about the ways you can dispute, it has to be inaccurate, incomplete, or too old generally. Well, if they're reporting inconsistently, it has to be one of them, at least one of them have to be inaccurate, right? So one of the things we love to do on the lawyer side, and we absolutely litigate this. I sue credit bureaus for this all the time, and we serve them with federal lawsuits, Dave, because they're reporting inconsistently. If Experian is reporting an open date of this month and TransUnion and Equifax are reporting it something different, we know for 100% certainty someone is reporting inaccurately, because it can't both be true, if it's different months. Same thing, if they're reporting a different balance. I don't care if a balance is off by $1 on a different report. Someone has broken the law because they have reported inaccurate information. So inconsistent equals inaccurate, always, because something has to be wrong. And then what we do is we send a letter and we say, okay, Capital One, LVNB, whoever it is, here's what's being reported inconsistently between the bureaus. Fix it. What that means is they have to either make them all match, and that has to still be accurate, or they have to delete it. But they almost always just verify. Absolutely. That's a great case. Love that case. Because it's so easy. I get to say, what are they going to do when I hold up two pieces of paper with different information? You don't get to tell one story to one person and another story to another. So that's a great question. Inconsistency equals inaccuracy.
Ooh, that's easy. And around.
Now, let me also give a small caveat. And this is something I want to make clear to everyone too. Not every piece of wrong information or inaccuracy will end up in litigation. There's still an analysis that has to go through, what's called materiality. That's a legal term. It's always in cases. It's in a bunch of case law. What that means is it has to be important enough. The open date, that's important because your open date will often determine how long something can be reported, right? But, if how they have those payment grids on some of the reports, the 60 months. If it shows no data in one of those months, probably not going to sue on that, because there's 60 months there. And if it shows your on-time payments otherwise, like, that's wrong. You can dispute it. They should fix it. But if you come to me and say, hey, Aaron, they're showing a no data on this 1 month of 60 and the other 59 are right, I'm going to say, you know what, that's annoying, but that's not worthy of a lawsuit. But open date, they're reporting the date of last payment differently, the date of first delinquency differently, the past due balance, any of the big indicators, like the big important things, how long something's going to be deleted. If there's inconsistency among any of that information, it equals inaccuracy, equals lawsuit. Then honestly, I tell people this all the time. I could just practice with enough people if I just set up a stand at a flea market outside the grocery store, because there was a special on 20 minutes.
Yes, it was 60 minutes, and 60 minutes. Yeah, it was called 100 million inaccuracies, something
exactly,
like that.
100 million accuracies, and they shared a stat that 40% of people have material errors on their credit report, and that means material errors means it is something big enough that will impact your ability to get credit, a job, an apartment. 40% of people. So that means there's 180 people on here, right? So that's 64 people. Probably right now, just on this Zoom, or live YouTube, have errors that are material. So 40%. And I think that number is low because these companies since then, that's about 10 years old, that CBS segment. In the last 10 years, these companies have started to embrace more technology and more artificial intelligence. And that's causing more inaccuracy. So I would say half or more. So literally, I could just set up outside the grocery store and say, hey, when's the last time you checked your credit report? When's the last time you? And half the people are going to have problems. And I could just practice my law that way. But yeah.
Let's talk about these public records on your credit report, all right? So if you have a bankruptcy on your credit report, you might be entitled to some money. Here's what I mean. If you go to that bankruptcy and it's on your report, those accounts that are attached to that bankruptcy, if they still have an available balance, you need to hit me up. Number two, if you don't have that, you need to call, you need to email, you need to text, you need to do whatever you need to do to call the courthouse to get that letter saying that, hey, they don't report to the credit bureaus. And once you get that letter, you want to send it certified to LexisNexis, send it certified to Experian, send it certified to Equifax, send it certified to TransUnion, all right? Saying that, hey, they didn't remove that bankruptcy off your report due to that letter, right? Because they don't report to the credit bureaus. Now, if you have hard inquiries on your credit report and you want them permanently gone, hey, you need to go watch this video right here because I'm basically going to walk you step by step on how to permanently remove them hard inquiries off your credit report due to the consumer law. So go watch that video right there.